In the middleweight division at UFC Jacksonville, got Brendan Allen, 21-5, the American, taking on the Brazilian Bruno Silva, who comes in at 23-8. So two really good fighters. Now Allen stands 2 inches taller at 6'2". He's 27, Silva 33. So both guys kind of either in their prime or entering their prime. Brendan Allen has a 1-inch reach advantage, 75-74. They're both right-handed. Now, advantage Silva in terms of activity, 4.5 significant strikes at 3.9 for Allen, but that's only a difference of like 10, maybe 9 over the course of 3 rounds, so it's close there. Brendan Allen has the advantage in the takedowns, just 1 over the course of 3 rounds. Silva wants to keep the fight standing. Brendan Allen, 55% takedown defense, but he's coming off 4 straight wins over Jacob Malkoun, Sam Alvey, Christoph Jocko, submission. Andre Muniz, submission. He's won 3 to last 4 by submission. Now, Bruno Silva, 71% takedown defense. He's going to need all of that in this one. He KO'd Brad Tavares, but lost to Gerald Mearshart by submission and Alex Pereira by decision, which that wasn't a bad decision. He looked great in that fight, which confuses this fight even more. I mean, Bruno Silva's going to fight well. It's not going to be an easy out, but I like the takedown game and submission ability of Brendan Allen. And Bruno Silva, despite fighting well against Alex Pereira, was submitted by Gerald Mearshart. Really got to look at that one. So I like Brendan Allen to beat Bruno Silva. He's better than Gerald Mearshart on the ground. Hopefully he'll get the job done, hopefully by submission, but at worst 2 rounds to 1 by decision. Brendan Allen wins to move to 22-6, middleweight division, UFC Jacksonville. In the featherweight division at UFC Jacksonville, you got David Onama coming in at 10-2, taking on Gabriel Santos, the Brazilian, who comes in at a nice 10-1. So 2 guys with really good records. Going to be a tough prediction. Onama, 2 inches taller. They're both in their late 20s. Onama has a 4-inch reach advantage. They both fight right-handed. Now, so far, Onama, 5.3 significant strikes per minute. Not bad. Santos, not bad either, at 4.6. But Santos lands like 5 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds. That's more than 1 per round, almost 2 per round, at least so far in minimal fights. Onama lands 1 over the course of 3 rounds. So takedown defense will be important. Onama, 45%. That's going to be a problem. Lost to Nate Landwehr by majority decision. Not a bad performance. Trailed 91-71 in significant strikes, 3-1 in takedowns. He did beat Garrett Armfield and Gabriel Benitez. The Benitez fight does help. Now, Gabriel Santos, 50% takedown defense. Not much better. Lost to Lerone Murphy, a really good fighter, by a split decision, but he had 5 takedowns. 5. That's enough that I need to see right there. Gabriel Santos is going to dominate this fight on the ground to move to 11-1. If he had 5 takedowns against Lerone Murphy, forget about it. Onama will fight well early, but once he gets taken down, it'll be repeated. He'll fall to 10-3, might get submitted. Featherweight division, UFC Jacksonville. In the middleweight division at UFC Jacksonville, you got Cody Brundage coming in at a rough 8-4, taking on Cedric Dumas, who comes in at 7-1. This is American versus American. Now, Dumas, 2 inches taller at 6'2". Both guys still in their late 20s. Dumas, though, long reach, 7-inch advantage, 79-72. Both guys stand right-handed. Both guys land exactly 2.5 significant strikes per minute. Dumas lands like 2 takedowns every 3 rounds. Brundage is closer to 3 or 1 takedown per round. So that's his advantage. He's got a 73% takedown defense. Dumas, no stats on that just yet. Now, Brundage lost back-to-back fights against Rodolfo Vieira by submission and was KO'd against McCall Lexichuk. He did beat Tresean Gore, but is yet to be like a real, not to take anything away from Tresean Gore, but an embedded UFC fighter, losing both of those, going 0-2. Now, Dumas lost to Josh Fremd by submission, but beat Matej Penaz at Dana White's Contender Series. So they're both kind of in the same situation, making it a very tough fight to predict. Now, the output is relatively the same, but the takedown game goes to Cody Brundage. And Josh Fremd land 2 takedowns against Dumas. So I'm thinking Brundage will do the same. But, man, Dumas is good as well. But we're going to lean with Cody Brundage here just on the sheer power and takedown ability. I think he can get the job done Won't be surprised either if Dumas wins. And we'll learn a lot about these two in this fight, but we'll take Brundage here by decision to grind it out in the third round to get the win to move to 9-4 middleweight division, UFC Jacksonville. In the women's flyweight division co-main event at UFC Jacksonville, you got Amanda Rebus taking on Macy Barber. This is going to be an interesting fight. Two really good fighters. The Brazilian is 11-3. The American Barber is 12-2. Unbelievable. Barber 5'5", 2 inches taller. She's 25. Rebus is 29. Now, Rebus has a 1-inch reach advantage, 66-65. She fights right-handed. Barber is a switch stance fighter. Rebus, 4.8 significant strikes per minute to 4.3 for Barber. And Rebus lands 2 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds, where Barber lands just 1. So both areas favor Amanda Rebus, coming off the win over Vivian Araujo. She also beat Verna Jandaroba, a really good fighter, but lost by split decision to Caitlin Chukagian. Very good fighter too. Now the future Macy Barber, 47% takedown defense. That's going to be a problem. But wins, right? Beat Andrea Lee. Gave up 5 takedowns, won by split decision. Jessica Ai, decision. Montana De La Rosa, decision. Miranda Maverick, split decision. But Amanda Rebus is on a different level. And as much as I'd like to see Macy Barber win, probably be rooting for her against a prediction, but Amanda Rebus is just too good everywhere. The Brazilian should win this fight by decision, in my opinion, on significant strikes, on takedowns. Macy Barber's takedown defense is weak. But, you know, what does worry me about the prediction is the same thing with Andrea Lee, giving up 5 takedowns, but had 2. Won't have that against Amanda Rebus, right? So against Andrea Lee, 2 takedowns versus 5, but let in significant strikes, snuck out a decision. Won't happen this time. Rebus wins 2 out of 3 rounds to take this thing in all areas to move to 12-3 women's flyweight division. UFC in the featherweight division at UFC Jacksonville, you got Josh Emmett coming in at 18-3, taking on the undefeated 13-0 Ilia Topuria. This is going to be a great fight. Now Topuria, 1 inch taller at 5'7". He's 12 years younger. He's only 26, taking on the 38-year-old Josh Emmett. Both guys stand right-handed. Emmett's more active, 4.2 significant strikes per minute to 3.3 for Topuria, but Topuria lands nearly a takedown a round, where Emmett lands like 1 over the course of 3 rounds. Emmett's got a 58% takedown defense. That will not be helpful here. He lost to Yair Rodriguez, a very good fighter, guy fighting for the belt next, in the second round via submission, but he did beat Calvin Kattar, Dan Ige, Shane Burgos, Mirsad Bektik, and Michael Johnson. So, he's been on a run as of late, but lost a tough one to a really good fighter. Topuria, 92% takedown defense, so he's defending all takedowns. He hasn't lost yet in the UFC. He's 5-0, beating the likes of Ryan Hall, Jai Herbert by KO, Bryce Mitchell. Think about that, Bryce Mitchell by second round submission. So, and that put him on our dude list. So he's one of my dudes. So I can't go against him. Guy's undefeated. Ilia Topuria is on the rise. The only thing that worries me here is that he's 26. He's still young, and sometimes you saw this in the previous main event where you had the 29-year-old Vettori taking on the 39-year-old Cannonier, and we thought Vettori would win, but the age difference is a factor. Even though Emmett is older, he's has a lot of experience in the octagon, but not too much, just 21 fights. So, we're taking a chance here, but not a big chance. I think Ilia Topuria wins this fight regardless, but it likely goes to a decision unless he can get the submission, where Josh Emmett doesn't have great takedown defense, but Ilia Topuria wins. Featherweight division main event, UFC Jacksonville.